Thanks for joining me today. I want to introduce you to Panna Cotta. This is a typical Italian dessert that a lot of people, for some reason, seem to be afraid of. It's super easy to make, and it has this really delicious custard-type texture, and it's really fast and simple to make. First, let me introduce you to the basic recipe. Now, you can find this on the SweetWise website just under recipes, but the basic recipe is basically just starting with 4 cups of liquid, typically heavy cream. So 4 cups of heavy cream and 5 tablespoons of sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. Pretty easy. Now the thing is, that's a traditional recipe, but you can certainly substitute it with other flavors. Now what sets the custard in this instance is not something like an egg yolk, it's gelatin. So this powdered gelatin that we have at SweetWise is a really easy way to get all that in there. Right here I've got 2 tablespoons of gelatin and 8 ounces of water. So I'm just going to sprinkle that onto the cold water and let that bloom. That's just going to take about a minute. Now as I said, we started with 4 cups of liquid before and 5 tablespoons of sugar. Now, 100 grams of sugar is the 5 tablespoons. What I'm doing here is something more fun, and it's a little bit easier. I'm taking a flavored creamer. These are all types of brands, all types of flavors. Today I'm going to work with a toffee almond. It just seems fun. So basically, knowing that I'm starting with 4 cups of liquid, I want to substitute. So I look on the label information of how many grams of sugar is in there, and I figured out I need 1 1/4 cups of flavored creamer to equal the amount of sugar in the 5 tablespoons that I was adding in the traditional recipe. So taking that out of the 4 cups minus 1 1/4 cups leaves me 2 3/4 cup of heavy cream. So in my pot here, I'm warming up 2 3/4 cup of heavy cream and 1 1/4 cup of the flavored creamer, the toffee almond that I'm using today. Hope that makes sense. It's just a sugar substitution and just keeping that liquid amount the same. So now my gelatin has bloomed. This usually takes about a minute or 2. You just want to make sure that there's no powdery substance in it. All I've done here is warmed my liquid. You don't have to bring it to a boil. You don't have to test for a temperature. It's just that easy. You just warm it. So I'm just going to go ahead and shut that heat off and just go ahead and dump all of my gelatin in and stir it. That's it. So there's nothing to get to, no temperature you have to test for, no sugar added. It's just a matter of stirring that gelatin in. So now let's talk about the vessel that it's going to go into. It needs to chill in the refrigerator. This is the traditional container that it's going to go into to set. This is just a custard dish, and you want to put a light coat of oil on this. Make sure it's not a strongly flavored oil, something like, you know, a sunflower oil or a light canola oil, just something that doesn't distract from the flavor. Light oil on there, and then you're just going to pour this right into the container. You might want to use a ladle, something that's not going to splash too much, but you just want to pour that in there about 3/4 of the way full. From here, it's going to go right into the refrigerator. About 4 to 6 hours to set, and you're going to get a nice firm texture. Now what you would do is just run a knife around the edge and then dump it out onto a really pretty plate. Garnish it with a sauce. Typically you might see a caramel sauce or strawberry sauce, something like that. Here, because I have the toffee almond flavor in there, I just dusted it with some toasted almonds, and I think that's going to be really, really delicious. You can also use a dish that's shaped like this. It's kind of the same kind of a vessel as a custard dish. Also really pretty is something like a martini glass. This is a really great look as well. With these two, because you're not turning it out of this type of vessel, it doesn't take as long to set. You could maybe do it at the start when you're making dinner, and 2 hours later it's ready to eat right out of this vessel. So that's the basic Panna Cotta recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. I think you can see how easy it is. Don't let it intimidate you. It doesn't take any technique at all, just a few ingredients. So if you want to go to the SweetWise website and just look under Panna Cotta, you will find either the basic vanilla recipe or one that suggests a flavor with a coffee creamer. You can also just add a different flavor that comes out of the bottle as well instead of the vanilla. Really easy. I hope you'll give it a try and have fun with it. Thanks for watching.